Box Office Buddies here. The drill is every week I review a new movie with a different buddy. This week Jess is back.
Hello everyone.
She enjoys doing the sci-fis a lot, but we went a different direction this time. Bad Times at the El Royale. How would you describe this thing?
Well, I don't know how. I'm really bad with genres to begin with, anyway, so that makes it double hard because obviously you do have mystery going on. It's one of those like ensemble movies where not everyone's who they say they are, where it's just the mystery and you don't know who's who, like who's good, who's bad, and you can't trust anything, and then stuff goes down at the El Royale. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like I mentioned, you're into sci-fi, but you specifically said that this was one you were interested in. What about it got your attention? Why did you want to see this one?
It looked it looked good from the trailer. I only saw the trailer once a while ago, and I remember thinking, like, mental note, it had really good actors in it.
John Hamm,
Jeff Bridges,
Dakota Johnson, Chris Hemsworth. And you got some newcomers like Louis Pullman,
Cynthia Eriva. I thought it looked really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It had my attention too, based on what little I saw, and I would say it was pretty much what I expected, or close to it.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it overall?
Overall, I liked it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie. I think that it is what I expected. There's always that little hint of you that wishes it could be a bit more, and it falls under that. It doesn't quite hit like the, oh my gosh, it was an amazing movie. It's going to be a classic, and I'll watch it again next year or 5 years from now. It didn't quite hit that, but it was still a good movie. The acting was great. The plot was good. There was a lot of intrigue, and
it keeps you guessing the whole way through.
Exactly.
You're always wondering why things are happening. You're questioning the characters' motivations.
Yes.
And even with the end, by the end of the movie, there are still some questions that I don't have answered.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to complain about. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, it kind of is indicative of how the whole movie is, where you're always wondering, well, why this?
Yeah.
And who's this person really? And by the end, you still have some of those questions. So.
I like having questions in the end. I kind of prefer if a film doesn't tell you everything, because then it just becomes like exposition dump and kind of like too many flashbacks and that kind of thing. This film has a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah, it does.
It's basically the way the film is structured when they're introducing your characters. So I'm kind of glad that they tried to leave it at least a few things kind of open-ended, but I mean, it was a long film, 2 hours and 20 minutes? And
over 220, and you feel it, like it.
Yeah, but I found it was good enough that you didn't feel it too much. Like, it wasn't like I didn't check my phone to check the time, while other films that are less long will make me check the phone to see, like, oh my god, when is this ending?
I thought this was good, not great.
Yeah, exactly.
For those who like this kind of movie, and if you're ready to, commit to 2.5 hours, and you like slow pacing, and you like kind of just being on the character's journey and stuff, it's worth seeing. I will definitely say this is not a family movie.
Grandma, Grandpa, don't go see this film, and Mom and Dad, don't bring your kids to it, please.
Yeah, it's for a more mature audience, for sure.
Yes, definitely.
What am I doing there then, right? But anyway, you mentioned a lot of the good things. I like the intrigue. I like a lot of the acting. I have a few issues with the acting, mostly with Dakota Johnson, but that's just because I personally, she didn't do it for me, but that's just a personal thing. I don't know.
Maybe. She was fine.
Okay, there you go.
I wasn't like...
One of the positives of having a buddy with me, you can get two opinions. But yeah, exactly. The acting's good.
Yeah.
It keeps you guessing.
Yeah.
It's different. It's creative. I really appreciate that.
Your negatives coming up though.
And yes, we talked about the length. It's long and tedious. So like it brings you through everything piece by piece. There are some plot holes.
Okay.
Yeah. I won't talk about them now, but
no,
maybe after.
Maybe after, because I'm curious. I haven't been able to process it yet to find those plot holes, but I don't.
It's not a fun movie to sit down and watch.
No.
You know, it's more. I don't know how to.
Well, I mean, like, no, it's definitely not a fun movie. Like, there's not a ton of humor, but there's enough to kind of like. There's a few parts that make you kind of like, like smirk, laugh. Sometimes there's like a lightheartedness, but it's always like undercut with some really dark thing that's happening or going to happen.
Thank goodness for Jeff Bridges though, because he's
excellent.
Yeah,
he's so great.
I don't know if I would have appreciated that much if it was someone else in the role.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? but like no, he really. I think he brought it home.
Yeah, I think he elevates.
He was the best performance of the movie.
Absolutely.
Personally, written and directed by Drew Goddard. Yeah. So I always appreciate an original work, and especially when it's like written and directed by someone. It's really their own work. This isn't something you've seen before, some ripoff. Of course, it can remind you of other things. But
definitely.
Let's just do it. Marvel and Matrix.
Marvel and Matrix.
Because
then we can talk about it further.
Yeah, why not? Scale of Marvel to Matrix, Marvel being absolute garbage and Matrix being the greatest. Where does this land?
This absolutely lands right square on the Hateful Eight. I found that it was absolutely like, as I was watching it, I was like, man, this reminds me of Hateful Eight, and like I could see some. It's not Tarantino, like it doesn't have his type of violence or anything like that, but just the way it's structured, the stories, the characters, the way they come together, they're all in like one place. They're kind of stormed in. Hateful Eight, they're snowed in, and they're stuck together, and it's like very, very similar to the Hateful Eight.
Yes. Well, as we were watching the movie, how long into the movie? Maybe 5 minutes? Did I turn to you and say, I know my Marvel to Matrix.
Oh, is that when you decided?
And it's been the Hateful Eight
the
whole time. It is like you don't know who's who and why.
No, but you slowly get snippets of their backgrounds and why they're there, and you're kind of anxious to find out. And
yeah, and a lot of the feel of the movie was similar too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I will say I liked Hateful Eight a bit more than this.
Okay. Why?
I liked a lot of the dialogue more. I liked. I didn't feel the pace like it was just as long, but I felt like the pacing, even though it was as slow, kept me more interested.
Okay.
And I like the payoff more.
Okay.
At the end of Hateful Eight. But I do know a lot of people who really did not like that movie.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
If you don't like Hateful Eight, you're not gonna like this one.
No.
It's
the same. It's not the same.
It's not the same movie,
but it's very similar, and all the reasons why people don't like Hateful Eight would be present for this film as well.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah. Well, I had fun. It was a good time.
It was fun. I'm glad I saw it.
This is the best movie we've reviewed together.
It is. I know.
If you appreciated this review, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, the bell next to it, so you can get those notifications knowing when new video's up. Like the video and share it. And thanks a lot.
No problem.
We'll try to go 2 for 4 next time.
Yay! Bye, everyone.
See ya.